I never thought a single word could rip my world apart. But there it was, scrawled in faded marker on the back of my son's elementary school cubby. Rented dad. It wasn't the first time I'd heard the whispers, the sideways glances from soccer moms in their spotless minivans, but seeing it etched into the wood like a scar, that hit different. And then, as if the universe had a twisted sense of timing, my phone buzzed with a text from Daniel. We need to talk. About us. About everything. My heart slammed against my ribs like it was trying to escape, because I knew, deep down, in that gut-wrenching way you just know, that our fragile little family was about to shatter. The air in our kitchen that evening smelled like overcooked spaghetti and regret, the kind that clings to everything. Daniel stood by the sink, his broad shoulders hunched under the weight of whatever storm was brewing in his head, steam rising from the pot like a bad omen. Our son, Alex, was upstairs, oblivious, building Lego empires that would outlast us all. At 35, Daniel still looked like the all-American quarterback he'd been in high school, tall, with that easy smile that could disarm a room full of PDA vultures. But tonight, his blue eyes were stormy, flicking to me like I was a puzzle he couldn't solve anymore. "Michael," he said, his voice low, the way it got when he was holding back a flood. "This isn't working. The school thing. The looks. It's eating me alive." I leaned against the counter, gripping the edge so hard my knuckles whitened. We'd been together 8 years, married for 3 since the Supreme Court made it real for guys like us in California. Alex was our miracle, born by a surrogate 2 years ago, Daniel's biology tying him to us in a way that surrogacy contracts couldn't quite erase for the rest of the world. I was the one who'd carried the emotional load, the late-night feedings, the doctor's appointments. But legally, emotionally, I was dad too. Except to the assholes at Willow Creek Elementary, where rented dad had become my scarlet letter. "It's just kids being cruel," I replied, forcing calm into my voice, though my chest ached like it had been hollowed out. Alex doesn't hear it. He's got his friends, his art club. But I hear it. Daniel's fist clenched around a dish towel, twisting it like he wanted to wring out the truth. Every pickup line, every "oh, you're the other one." It's like I'm the intruder in my own family. And you, God, Michael, you act like it's nothing, like we can just power through with more family game nights and rainbow flags on the porch. His words landed like punches, each one bruising deeper. I wanted to scream that it was nothing compared to losing him, to the black hole that would swallow me whole if he walked out that door. But instead, I crossed the linoleum floor. Cheap stuff we'd installed ourselves during one of our let's fix this marriage weekends, and pulled him into a hug. He stiffened at first, then melted, his breath hot against my neck. "I love you," I whispered, the words tasting like salt. "You're not rented. You're mine." We made love that night on the couch, desperate and quiet, the TV flickering some mindless cop show in the background. It was the kind of reconnection that felt like salvation, his hands mapping my body like he was memorizing it for a journey he might not return from. But as we lay tangled in the Afghan my mom had crocheted before she passed, doubt crept in like fog off the Pacific. What if he was right? What if our love, hard-won in a world that still side-eyed 2 dads pushing a stroller, wasn't enough to hold against the tide? The next morning, Alex bounded down the stairs, his backpack slung over one shoulder, gap-toothed grin lighting up the gloom. "Dad, Michael, guess what? Mrs. Hargrove says my speech for the assembly is gonna blow everyone away." He was buzzing about the school's Family Heritage Day, where kids shared stories about their roots. Alex had poured his heart into it. Pages of scribbled notes about Daniel's Irish grandparents, my Jewish-Italian mishmash, and how we were the best team ever, like superheroes without capes. I ruffled his hair, forcing a smile. "Can't wait, buddy. You're gonna kill it." Daniel shot me a look over Alex's head, grateful, maybe, or just exhausted. We drove him to school in silence, the radio humming some pop song about unbreakable hearts that felt like a cruel joke. Willow Creek was the epitome of suburban Americana. Sprawling lawns, flagpole pledges every morning, bake sales funding field trips to the Reagan Library. It was supposed to be safe, a bubble where Alex could grow up without the slurs I'd dodged in my own Chicago youth. But lately, the bubble had cracks. Notes in his lunchbox, giggles behind hands. And me? I was the villain in their narrative, the gay dad who wasn't real. That afternoon, as I picked Alex up, I caught sight of her for the first time in months. Sarah, our surrogate. She was leaning against her beat-up Honda in the parking lot, arms crossed over her faded UC Berkeley hoodie, watching the kids spill out like confetti. Her dark hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and her eyes, those eyes that mirrored Alex's so eerily, were red-rimmed, like she'd been crying into her coffee. Michael. Her voice cracked as she pushed off the car. Can we talk? My stomach twisted. Sarah lived an hour north in Sacramento, scraping by as a barista while finishing her nursing degree. We'd stayed in touch loosely, birthdays, the occasional photo, but this felt loaded. We ended up at the park across from the school, the one with the creaky swings and picnic tables scarred from too many summers. Alex was off chasing pigeons, oblivious, while Sarah picked at a hangnail, her wedding ring glinting mockingly. She'd married some tech bro last year, the kind who posted blessed on Instagram while ignoring the mess underneath. I saw the post, she said finally, voice barely above the rustle of eucalyptus leaves. About the school. The rented dad crap. I shrugged, staring at my sneakers. Small-town drama. It'll blow over. She shook her head, fierce. It won't. Not for Alex. And not for you. A pause, heavy as lead. Michael, I need to tell you something. About why I did it, the surrogacy. My pulse thrummed. We'd always assumed it was straightforward. She needed the money, we needed a family. Clean, contractual. But the way her lip trembled? This was no footnote. I wasn't just in it for the cash, she confessed, eyes locking on mine. I loved him. Daniel. Back in college. It was stupid, a summer fling, but when you guys approached me through the agency, I thought maybe it was fate. Carrying his kid? It felt like holding on to a piece of what we lost. The world tilted. Daniel? With Sarah? Before me? My mind raced back. Our early days, how he dodged questions about exes, chalking it up to small-town closeted bullshit. But this was a bomb, ticking since Alex's first cry. You're lying, I whispered, but it came out weak, a plea. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I'm not. And now, my marriage is falling apart. He, my husband, found out about the surrogacy details, the biology. He thinks Alex is. I don't know, a reminder of my mistake. I had to see him, to see if there's still. Stop. I stood, legs shaky. You don't get to drop this and run. But she was already backing away, murmuring apologies as Alex waved from the slide. I scooped him up, drove home on autopilot, the revelation festering like an open wound. That night, Daniel came home late from his shift at the firehouse, smelling of smoke and secrecy. I confronted him in the garage, voice breaking. Sarah, college. Tell me it's bullshit. His face crumpled, the quarterback mask shattering. Michael, I swear it was nothing. A mistake before I even knew who I was. Before us. Nothing? You knocked her up in a one-night stand, and now she's here, unraveling everything because she can't let go. Fury boiled over, hot and irrational. And you didn't think to mention it when we picked her as our surrogate? What if she'd said no? What if we'd chosen someone else? He reached for me, but I jerked back. I was ashamed. Gay kid in a straight world, experimenting to prove something. It meant zero. You mean everything. We argued until our throats were raw, Alex's door creaking open once, his sleepy dad's, piercing the chaos like a knife. We hushed it, tucked him back in, but the damage was done. Trust, that fragile thread, frayed to threads. Days blurred into a haze of avoidance. Polite breakfasts, strained silences. I threw myself into work at the community center, organizing queer youth groups, preaching resilience while my own world cracked. Daniel patrolled fires that felt metaphorical, coming home with soot-streaked cheeks and eyes begging forgiveness. Alex sensed it, his drawings turning from rainbows to storm clouds. Then came the assembly. Family Heritage Day. The gym was packed, parents in khakis, grandparents with thermoses of coffee, the air thick with pride and pretense. Alex took the stage, microphone dwarfing his small frame, his speech clutched like a shield. I sat beside Daniel, our knees not touching, the space between us a chasm. When I think about family, Alex began, voice steady, I think of my dads, Daniel and Michael. Daniel's the one who taught me to throw a baseball, even though I stink at it. Michael's the one who reads me stories till I fall asleep, making all the voices funny. The crowd chuckled, but I felt eyes on us, the whispers starting already. But some kids say mean things. They call Michael my rented dad, like he's not real. Like love can be bought and returned. His little brow furrowed, mirroring Daniel's. But that's dumb. Family isn't about who carried you or who signed papers. It's about who stays, who fights for you. He paused, scanning the faces, landing on a woman in the third row. Sarah, uninvited, her hand over her mouth. My mom, my birth mom. She gave me life, but she gave me to my dad's because she knew they'd love me best. And they do. Every day. So if anyone's rented, it's me, rented from her heart to theirs. And I'm never going back. The gym erupted in applause, but Sarah bolted, sobs echoing off the bleachers. I chased her into the hallway, heart pounding. She slumped against the lockers, mascara streaking like war paint. He knows. Not from me. I said, softer now, the anger ebbing into something rawer. From his own heart, I guess. She nodded, wiping her face. I came to fight for Daniel. For us, maybe. But hearing that, God, Michael, I was wrong. So wrong. Alex is yours. Ours, in the best way. We talked then, really talked, for the first time since the contracts. About her crumbling marriage, the loneliness that surrogacy had amplified. About my fears, the rented label that Daniel wore like invisible chains. He's not rented, she said fiercely. He's the anchor. Don't let idiots make you doubt that. Back in the gym, Daniel enveloped me in a hug that smelled of home, Alex sandwiched between us. I'm sorry, he murmured into my hair. For the secrets. For not fighting harder. But the real storm was brewing elsewhere. That night, as we celebrated with pizza and root beer floats, my phone lit up with a voicemail from an unknown number. Daniel's ex-college roommate, drunk and spilling beans. Heard about the drama, Mikey. Just so you know, Danny Boy wasn't just experimenting with Sarah. There was more. A lot more. Check the old yearbooks if you don't believe me. Betrayal, round 2. I didn't sleep. Dawn found me in the attic, dust motes dancing in the flashlight beam, flipping through Daniel's college scrapbook. There it was, a photo of him and Sarah, arms around a group, but his eyes on her with a hunger I recognized. And tucked in the pages, a letter, her handwriting, professing love, dated months after Alex's conception window. Wait, no? The dates didn't match. Surrogacy was artificial insemination, not. Oh God. The pieces slammed together. Daniel hadn't just experimented. He'd cheated on his straight facade with her, repeatedly. And when we'd chosen her as surrogate, it wasn't fate. It was him, pulling strings, hoping to rekindle without telling me. The nausea hit like a freight train. I confronted him at breakfast, the letter trembling in my hand. Explain this. His face drained of color. Michael, it's not. You lied. Again. You used our family to fix your regrets. Alex froze mid-bite, cereal spoon hovering. The boy who'd just defended us on stage now looked at his heroes like strangers. Daniel's voice broke. I ended it before you. I swear. The surrogacy. I thought it was closure. For her. For me. Closure? You dragged me into your mess. I roared, the dam breaking. I'm done being the fool who believes your half-truths. Alex started crying, and that was it. The line crossed. I stormed out, driving aimlessly through Oakland's fog-shrouded streets, radio blasting Springsteen anthems about broken highways. Hours later, I ended up at the community center, collapsing in my office amid rainbow posters preaching love wins. Sarah called then, her voice urgent. Michael? I heard. From a mutual friend. Don't throw it away. Daniel's a mess. He's pacing the house, talking about therapy, about making it right. Why do you care? I snapped. Because I see you too. You're the family I couldn't be. And Alex. He needs his dad's hole. Her words pierced the rage, stirring the embers of what we'd built. But trust? That was ash. The weeks that followed were a masterclass in emotional limbo, living in the same house, but worlds apart. Daniel slept on the couch, his firehouse shift stretching longer, excuses piling up like unpaid bills. I'd catch him watching Alex build forts in the living room, eyes glassy with unspoken pleas, but pride kept my mouth shut. Alex, bless his resilient soul, tiptoed around us, his questions, why aren't you guys hugging anymore? like tiny grenades exploding in my chest. I dove into work, expanding the youth program with workshops on identity, drawing from my own scars. Growing up queer in the Midwest, I'd hidden crushes behind football jerseys, coming out only after my dad disowned me at 17. Daniel had been my safe harbor. Met at a pride rally in San Francisco, his laugh cutting through the noise like sunlight. We'd built this life brick by brick. The fixer-upper in the Oakland Hills, the adoption papers for Alex, the vows under a chuppah blended with Celtic knots. But now, every brick felt booby-trapped. Sarah became an unlikely lifeline, texting check-ins that started clinical, "How's Alex's cough?" and evolved into confessions. Her husband had left, citing irreconcilable differences, code for, "I can't handle your baggage." She was couch surfing with a cousin, acing her finals but crumbling inside. "I envy you," she admitted one rainy Tuesday over coffee at a diner off Highway 80. "Even broken, your love has roots. Mine was always weeds." I almost told her about the letter, the deeper betrayal, but something held me back. Pity? Or the fear that voicing it would make it irreversible? Instead, I shared stories of Daniel's quirks, the way he'd hum, "Take Me Home," country roads off-key during road trips, how he'd cry at Pixar movies but deny it. She laughed, a real one, and for a moment, the diner felt like neutral ground. Meanwhile, the school buzzed with fallout from Alex's speech. The principal called me in, all apologies and zero-tolerance policies, but the damage lingered. A dad from the PDA, big guy, ex-Marine, Trump sticker on his truck, cornered me at pickup. Kid's got guts, I'll give him that. But let's be real. Two dads? That's not heritage. That's confusion. I wanted to deck him, channel every pent-up fury, but I walked away, fists balled, muttering "asshole" under my breath. Back home, Daniel overheard the tale, his jaw tightening. "Let me handle it. I'm the one they expect to throw a punch." "No," I shot back. "You're the one who hid a whole life from me. You don't get to play hero now." The fight escalated, voices echoing off the vaulted ceilings we'd painted sky blue for Alex's sake. He accused me of stonewalling, of punishing him for sins of youth. I hurled back that youth was no excuse for deceit in our marriage. Alex burst in midway, tears streaming. "Stop. You're ruining everything. I hate this." He ran to his room, slamming the door with a finality that echoed my own despair. Daniel and I stood there, panting, the silence deafening. That night, he packed a bag. Not leaving, he swore, just space at the station. As he kissed my forehead, lingering, I tasted goodbye. Alone, I unraveled. Sleepless nights scrolling old photos. Our wedding in Big Sur, waves crashing as we exchanged rings. Alex's first steps, Daniel scooping him up like a trophy. The community center became my bunker, but even there, cracks showed. A teen in group, Jamie, 17, trans, freshly out, noticed my distraction. "Mr. M, you look like my mom did before the divorce. Like you're carrying the whole world." I broke then, spilling to this kid who'd trusted me with his story. Love's supposed to conquer, right? But what if it's built on lies? Jamie shrugged, wise beyond years. "Then you rebuild. Or you let it go. But don't drag the kid down with you." His words haunted me through the next firestorm. Literally. Oakland's hills ignited that weekend. Wildfires fueled by drought and climate denial, the kind that turned paradise into inferno. Daniel's crew was first on scene, battling blazes that chewed through neighborhoods like ours. I paced the living room, CNN droning evacuation warnings, Alex glued to my side, clutching his stuffed bear. The call came at 3 a.m. Daniel, trapped in a backdraft, arm broken, lungs scorched. Rushed to Kaiser, critical but stable. I drove like a demon through smoke-choked roads. Alex buckled in the back, whispering prayers we'd taught him. In the ER waiting room, sterile hell of beeping monitors and fluorescent buzz, Sarah appeared, summoned by a frantic text chain. She brought coffee, her presence a balm and a barb. "He's tough," she said, squeezing my hand. "Like that summer he hiked Yosemite solo after our thing." Said it cleared his head. I yanked away. "Don't. Not now." But exhaustion won. As dawn bled orange through the blinds, Daniel woke, groggy on morphine, his free hand finding mine. "Michael, I'm sorry. For all of it. The secrets, the surrogacy strings. I was scared of losing you, of not being enough. Tears burned my eyes. You are enough. But the lies? They make me question everything. He nodded, wincing. Therapy. For me, for us. No more hiding. Sarah stepped forward then, her voice steady. And me? I release it, Daniel. Whatever ghost I was chasing, it's buried. Alex is your son. Let me be the aunt who sends birthday cards, nothing more. The room hung heavy with absolution, but trust isn't rebuilt in a hospital haze. Discharge brought us home, Daniel in a sling, the house reeking of takeout and tension. Alex hovered, his speeches echo a reminder of what we risked losing. Then the unexpected climax, a letter from Sarah, delivered by courier while Daniel napped. Not a confession, but evidence. Emails from years back. Daniel rejecting her advances post-college, insisting on friendship only. I pulled strings for the surrogacy, he admitted in an attached note, but not to rekindle. To give her purpose, and us a family. I was wrong to hide it. Forgive me. It wasn't full absolution, but a crack in the wall. We started couples counseling in Berkeley, a no-nonsense therapist named Rosa, who called out our bullshit with surgical precision. Sessions unearthed more, my abandonment issues from Dad, Daniel's internalized homophobia from his conservative upbringing. Alex joined once, drawing our family as a bridge, two sides, him in the middle. The school year wound down with a reconciliation assembly. Alex wasn't speaking, but the principal announced an anti-bullying initiative, Rented No More, inspired by his words. The ex-Marine Dad even shook my hand, grumbling. Kid changed my mind. Respect. Summer brought tentative healing. We road-tripped to Yosemite, Daniel's old haunt. Pitching tents by the Merced River, Alex splashing while we sat on granite boulders, hands entwined. I almost lost this, Daniel murmured, tracing my palm. You almost did, I replied, but leaned into him. The kiss was slow, reaffirming, the river's rush drowning out doubts. Sarah visited once, awkward but genuine, bringing board games and stories of her new apartment in the city. No sparks, just closure. She was moving on, nursing job lined up, therapy for her own grief. Yet, the deepest cut lingered, a phone call from Daniel's mom, Evelyn, in Ohio. She'd seen the Rented Dad viral clip. Alex's speech had blown up on TikTok, racking views from queer families nationwide. Michael, she said, voice thick with rare emotion, I've been blind. Selfish. Come home for Christmas. All of you. It was the olive branch we'd craved, her acceptance, finally, after years of pray the gay away cards. But as we hung up, doubt flickered. Was it real or performative? The decision loomed, a precipice. Fly east, risk rejection, or stay safe in our bubble? Alex decided for us, packing his suitcase with glee. Grandma's gonna love my new speech. On the flight, Daniel squeezed my hand through turbulence. No more secrets? None, I promised, and meant it. Ohio was snow-dusted Norman Rockwell. Evelyn's colonial with lights twinkling, turkey roasting. But under the cheer, tension simmered. At dinner, she raised her glass. To family. Real family. Alex piped up, undeterred, like my dad's. Rented or not. The table froze. Evelyn's eyes welled. Oh, honey, no one's rented. Love doesn't work that way. It was the shatter we'd waited for, not of our family, but of hers. She confessed then, haltingly, her own regrets, a brother lost to AIDS in the 80s, silence her weapon against grief. I was scared for Daniel. But seeing you three, it's humbling. We cried, hugged, the walls tumbling. Not perfect, awkward carols, debates over politics, but human, real. Back in Oakland, fall leaves turning, we stood stronger. The Rented Dad graffiti? Painted over. The secrets? Buried, with markers of therapy and truth. Love, it turns out, isn't a contract or a biology test. It's the choice to stay, through fires and floods, misunderstandings, and mending. And in the quiet moments, Daniel's head on my shoulder, Alex's laughter echoing, we chose it. Every damn day. But healing isn't linear. It's a spiral, looping back on itself with sharper edges each turn. Christmas in Ohio had felt like a pinnacle, Evelyn's tearful toast a balm on old wounds. Yet, by January, the glow faded under the grind of routine. Daniel's arm healed crooked, a reminder of the fire that nearly claimed him, and with it came nightmares, him thrashing on our bed, muttering about smoke and failure. I'd wake him gently, holding him until dawn, but resentment simmered beneath my patience. You almost died keeping secrets, I'd think, biting it back. Alex, ever the barometer, withdrew into books, Harry Potter marathons where chosen families triumphed over bloodlines. At school, the rented dad initiative sparked backlash. Anonymous flyers in the halls, protect traditional values, signed by a shadowy pack. The ex-Marine, Tom, became an unlikely ally, ripping them down and muttering about damn zealots ruining good kids. But the whispers persisted, now laced with Sarah's shadow, rumors she'd stirred the pot by showing up unannounced. I confronted her over video call one gray afternoon, Alex at a playdate. Her apartment was a cozy chaos of textbooks and succulents, but her eyes were shadowed. Michael, I swear, I haven't said a word. But, my ex, he's got a big mouth. Posted some surrogacy sob story online, tagging the school. Idiots connected dots. Rage flared, hot and immediate. Your mess is our mess now. Keep him leashed. She flinched. He's not mine anymore. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry, for the college thing, for complicating your closure. Hanging up, I felt the spiral tighten. Daniel came home early, grease from the firehouse truck under his nails, and sensed the storm. Talk to me, he urged, pulling me onto the porch swing, the Oakland hills hazy in the distance. I unloaded. The rumors, the flyers, Sarah's ex. He listened, then, we fight it together. Like always. But always felt fragile. That night, during our weekly check-in with Rosa, she unearthed a landmine. My unspoken grief over not being the bio dad. Michael, she prodded, her voice like polished stone. You carry this rented label, but is it theirs? Or yours? The session ended in silence, Daniel driving us home with white knuckles on the wheel. At a red light, he turned. Is that it? You think you're the rented one? I stared out at the taillights blurring in mist. Sometimes, like I'm the add-on, the one who loves harder to compensate. He pulled over, right there on MacArthur Boulevard, and kissed me fierce, traffic honking ignored. You're the foundation, Michael. Bio or not, you're the one who held us when I faltered. It cracked something open, vulnerability flooding in. We made promises in that car. More date nights, no more solo burdens. But life, cruel curator, had other plans. February brought the unexpected, a custody scare. Sarah's ex, bitter and litigious, filed a frivolous petition, claiming emotional distress from the surrogacy, demanding visitation with Alex as reparations. It was laughable, legally toothless, but the tabloids pounced. Surrogate mom battles gay dads for baby back, screamed headlines in the Chronicle, our faces pixelated but recognizable. The media circus descended, reporters at our gate, drones buzzing like vultures. Alex came home hysterical one day, a classmate shoving a printout in his face. Your mom's taking you away. We huddled in the kitchen, Daniel fielding calls from our lawyer, a fierce lesbian named Carla who'd handled our marriage pro bono. This is bullshit, Carla barked over speaker. But it'll drag. Prepare for depositions. And Michael, your history, the rented stuff, might come up. They'll paint you as unstable. Unstable. The word echoed my deepest fear. That night, as Alex slept fitfully, Daniel and I sat on the floor outside his door, backs against wood. If it comes to it, he whispered, I'll step back. Let them think I'm the villain. Don't you dare. I gripped his hand. We're in this, or not at all. The deposition was a gauntlet. Sterile conference room in downtown Oakland. Sarah's ex sneering across the table. His lawyer a slick suit with Bible quotes prepped. Sarah testified first, voice steady. I signed away rights willingly. Alex is theirs. My ex is using this for leverage in our divorce. Payback, not parenting. Then me. Under oath, lights harsh. I recounted our story. The love, the lies unearthed, the rebuilding. I'm not rented, I said, meeting the lawyer's gaze. I'm chosen. Every day. Daniel followed. His sling gone, but scars visible. I hid things, yes. Hurt the man I love. But for Alex? I'd burn again. The judge dismissed it swift, sanctions on the ex, a restraining order. Victory tasted bittersweet, the ordeal stripping us bare. In the courthouse lobby, Sarah hugged us both, whispering, "You're warriors." But the climax crested not in court, but in quiet betrayal's echo. Post-ruling, Daniel confessed over takeout Thai. He'd met Sarah for coffee that week, just to prep her testimony. No malice, but the omission stung, a reflex of old habits. "You promised no secrets," I accused, chopsticks clattering. "I know. It was logistics, not. Logistics like pulling strings for surrogacy." The argument reignited, vicious, Alex eavesdropping from the stairs again. This time, he didn't cry. He yelled, "You're both idiots. If you can't fix this, maybe Mom should take me." The words detonated. Daniel chased him up, soothing with stories, while I fled to the backyard, stars mocking my chaos. Hours later, Daniel found me, blanket draped on the grass. He's asleep. And I booked us a weekend away. Just us. Big Sur, like the beginning. I wanted to refuse, to punish. But empathy won. The fan no ebbing into Don Cam for the man who'd bared his soul, flaws and all. "Okay," I murmured. "But no more coffee dates with ex-flings." He laughed, broken but real. "Deal." Big Sur was redemption wrapped in sea salt. We hiked Pfeiffer Beach, purple sands underfoot, waves crashing like applause. At our cabin, creaky, candlelit, we talked till dawn. His college shame, my bio dad envy, the rented myth we'd internalized. Sex was secondary. It was the vulnerability, hands clasped, that reignited us. Back home, Alex greeted us with a sign, "Dad's forever." Evelyn sent plane tickets, spring break in Ohio, her treat. The visit deepened bonds, her teaching Alex pierogies, Daniel and I walking snowy fields, her arm linked in mine. "Your family," she said simply. "Rented or bought, or built from scratch." Spring bloomed with normalcy. Alex's birthday barbecue, rainbow cake, and water balloons. Tom the ex-Marine brought ribs, toasting to unconventional winds. Sarah Skyped in, her new boyfriend, a gentle paramedic, waving hello. Yet, the spiral looped once more. A school counselor flagged Alex's adjustment issues, suggesting therapy. In sessions, he drew us as superheroes. Daniel the shield, me the sword, but admitted the rented taunts lingered, twisting his pride. It forced our hardest decision: pull him from Willow Creek, enroll in a diverse magnet in Berkeley. Costly, disruptive, but necessary. The move was wrenching, goodbyes to friends, the swing set dismantled, but Alex thrived. His new class a mosaic of cultures and kinships. Summer solstice, we renewed vows on our porch, informal, with Alex as ring-bearer, Evelyn zooming teary cheers. No grand gestures, just promises renewed, transparency, tenacity. The fan know that once consumed me, transmuted to strength. Weed-weathered betrayal's gale, emerging scarred but seaworthy. In America's heartland of contradictions, where pride flags wave beside "Don't Tread" stickers, our story wasn't fairy tale. It was human, messy, profound, enduring. As fireflies danced that night, Daniel pulled me close, Alex asleep between us on a blanket fort. "Worth every fight," he whispered. "Every one," I agreed. And in that, the spiral straightened, a path forward, rented no more. Autumn returned like an old friend, leaves carpeting our street in crimson and gold, the air crisp with promise. Alex's first semester at the Berkeley Magnet was a revelation. Teachers who normalized two mom stories alongside two dad, art projects celebrating chosen kin. He came home buzzing about a pen pal in New York, a kid with gay uncles, their letters a lifeline across states. "See, Dad? Michael's not rented everywhere," he'd say, hugging me fierce, his gap-toothed grin filling voids I'd forgotten were there. Daniel and I settled into a rhythm, therapy a weekly anchor. Rosa challenged us to radical honesty, exercises, sharing fears without defense. Mine, the terror that one more secret would break me irreparably. His, the gnawing doubt that his bio tie to Alex made him the real parent, pressuring him to perfection. We laughed at the irony. Two gay men, products of rigid 80s America, unlearning worth tied to biology. Evelyn's influence rippled too. She drove out for Thanksgiving, her station wagon stuffed with Tupperware of brisket and apologies. Over pie, she cornered me in the kitchen. Michael, I was wrong about everything. Daniel's father, God rest him, pushed that man of the house nonsense. I echoed it, scared you'd steal my boy. Her hands, veined and steady, clasped mine. But you saved him. From himself, mostly. The words landed soft, mending a fracture I hadn't named. We cried into the sink, pumpkin stains on our aprons, while Daniel and Alex arm wrestled in the dining room. Sarah's arc intertwined unexpectedly. Her nursing gig landed her in Oakland, pediatrics at Children's Hospital, ironic poetry. We met for lunch at a taqueria near the bay, bridges spanning the water like veins. Her boyfriend, Raj, was there, tall Sikh with a gentle laugh, eyes crinkling like Daniel's when amused. No tension, just easy chatter about Alex's soccer tryouts. I'm happy for you, I said, meaning it. Really? She smiled, stirring horchata. And you? The custody crap, it's done. Buried. But it made us bulletproof. A beat. Thanks for testifying. For choosing us, again. Her eyes misted. I chose right the first time. Just took years to see it. Winter holidays loomed, but this year, we hosted a potluck pride twist on Hanukkah Kwanzaa Christmas mashup. Tom brought deviled eggs and his wife, who shyly admitted reading this book is gay after Alex's speech. The community center kids showed, Jamie leading carols with gender-neutral lyrics. Even Carla the lawyer popped champagne, toasting to families that rewrite the rules. But beneath the cheer, a subtle conflict brewed. Daniel's promotion at the station, captain, more hours, more risk. It meant late nights training rookies, leaving me solo with Alex's bedtime battles. Resentment flickered, not fiery, but persistent, like embers under ash. You're choosing the badge over us, I accused one January eve, snow flurries unusual for the bay. He sighed, unlacing boots by the door. It's security. For Alex's college, our future. Future? Or escape? The words slipped, venom from old wounds. He recoiled, hurt flashing. After everything, the fire, the lies, you still doubt? The argument simmered cold, apologies mumbled over breakfast. Rosa mediated next session. This isn't about the job. It's about balance. Michael needs to feel seen. Daniel needs to feel trusted. Homework. Weekly appreciation dates. No kids, no crises, just us. We started small. Hikes in Tilden Park. Picnics where we listed 3 gratitudes. Mine, his laugh lines deepening with joy. His, my quiet strength, the one that anchored us through storms. Spring unearthed the final twist, a letter from Sarah, not dramatic, but pivotal. She discovered old journals from college, entries romanticizing Daniel, but footnotes of doubt. He's not mine. He's searching. Enclosed was a photo, us 4 at Alex's birth, her holding him first, handing him to Daniel, me beside, hand on his back. This was the moment, she wrote. Not rekindling. Releasing. You two were always the endgame. Daniel read it aloud by the fireplace, voice thick. She knew before we did. I nodded, tears hot. Forgives a lot, doesn't it? The climax, when it came, was internal, a reckoning during Alex's school play. He played a tree in a multicultural folktale, steadfast amid tempests. Backstage, amid glitter and nerves, he pulled us aside. Dads, I heard you fighting again. About the job. Guilt twisted. Buddy, we're. No. Listen. His small hands gripped ours. You're like the tree, strong, but you bend or you break. Mom, Sarah, told me once, families are like that. Bend with the wind. We stared, stunned. Sarah? Mentoring from afar? Later, she confessed over ice cream. He emailed me. Smart kid. Said he was worried. I just echoed what I learned from you. Fan Noah, the intrusion melted to gratitude. This boy, our shared miracle, was weaving us tighter. The decision crystallized then. Daniel accepted the promotion but negotiated flex hours, family first. We joined a dad's support group at the center, swapping stories of PDA wars and playground prejudices. Evelyn visited monthly, her scrapbook now including our photos, chosen kin, captioned boldly. Summer solstice again, 2 years post-speech. Alex, taller now, requested a beach day, Half Moon Bay, kites soaring like his words once did. We flew them tandem, strings taut, Daniel's arm around my waist, Alex whooping as his dipped and soared. As dusk painted the sky lavender, we sat on driftwood, waves lapping secrets. Remember the hook? I teased Daniel. That cubby graffiti? Feels like lifetimes ago. He chuckled, kissing my temple. And the shatter? Alex's speech broke her open. And us, in the best way. Sarah joined via FaceTime, Raj beside her, announcing, "Baby on the way. Thought you'd like to be godparents." We cheered, tears mixing with sea spray. No jealousy, just joy. Her family, ours, threads in a larger tapestry. The ending wasn't fireworks or fade to black bliss. It was humanistic, textured, arguments over chores, therapy bills stacking, Alex's first crush, a kind-eyed boy from art club, sparking our own coming-out flashbacks. Betrayals healed into wisdom, misunderstandings to deeper empathy. In America's vast, vexed landscape, where Stonewall echoes in boardrooms and ballots, we carved our corner. Rented? No. Earned. Through gay conflicts, controversial whispers, secrets unveiled like dawn. And in the quiet, as Daniel's hand found mine under starlight, I knew we'd shattered, yes. But from the pieces, built unbreakable.